All right, question number 9. So here's a little chart that I've made to kind of help you with the levels of measurement. So when we're looking at data, we first need to determine, is it qualitative or quantitative? Is it just a characteristic or is it numerical, quantitative? Once we decide that, okay, our next few choices are going to be decided for us. So the second level of measurement would be, is it discrete or continuous? So discrete means it's a whole number. Continuous means it can be broken down into parts, decimals, and fractions. So qualitative data would not be discrete or continuous because it's not numerical. So it would automatically be neither here. And then we would pick discrete or continuous. And then with qualitative data, we would need to determine, can I put it in a meaningful order or no order? And then quantitative data, I would determine, is it interval or ratio? Interval meaning 0 does not mean the absence of something, like 0 is just kind of like a placeholder. And then ratio means 0 is the absence of something, like it's missing, we don't have any of this unit. So a couple examples, the only two that I can think of that are really good to help you understand this. Temperature. If the temperature outside is 0 degrees, does that mean we don't have any temperature? Or does that mean that 0 is the temperature? Okay, so in the example of temperature, we would use interval because ratio means we don't have any temperature, and that's not the case. It just means that 0 is the temperature. Another example, we could talk about your two-digit birth year, last two digits. So let's say you were born in year 2000. Okay, so your birth year would be 00. Last two digits would be 00. So 00, does that mean you don't have a birth year? Is that the absence of birth year? That would be ratio. Or interval, that is your birth year. All right, so those are the only two that I can really think that fit for interval. Most other cases are going to be ratio. That's going to be most everything. If it seems like it could be both, ratio is the one you want to choose. You want to choose the highest level of measurement. So if I said, how many cars do you have? If you don't have any cars, you would say 0. So 0 would be the absence of having a car, and 0 is the number of cars you have. So both of them fit. You pick the highest one. So in this case, we're dealing with volumes of water used in a household. So if the volume of water is 0, if I didn't use any, that is the absence of water, and it also is the amount of water that I use. It fits for both. So ratio would probably be the best here. All right, number 10, we got 3 parts. We got the data on the right to relate characteristics of a high definition TV A through E. Okay. We want to know, what are the individuals being studied? We're going to identify the variables, the data corresponding to the variables, determine whether each variable is qualitative, quantitative, continuous, or discrete. So that little chart that we did will kind of help you. So the data on the right relate to the characteristics of high definition TVs A through E. So looks like we're looking at high definition TVs. So what are the individuals being studied? High definition TVs A through E. This is what it tells us right here, spells it out. That's what we're studying. Okay, so what are the variables that correspond to the data being studied? So here, high definition TVs A through E, we have the size, the type of screen, and the channels available. These are the 3 different variables that we're looking at. So maybe even the setup, is that a variable? Setup, size, screen, number of channels, size, screen, number of channels. What are the variables corresponding to the setting? I want to say size, screen, and number of channels could also be set up as well, though. Okay, and then the last one, size. inches. Inches would be a measurement I would think be continuous. Inches can be broken down. You can have 48 and a half. Even though all of these are whole, inches is a number that can be broken down. So that'd be a continuous variable. Screen, that's going to be a qualitative. And then the number of channels, that would be discrete. You can't have a half number of channels.